To tonight's edition of NASCAR 07 on the channel, race 7 of 36 on this Nextel Cup Series season at the Texas Motor Speedway for tonight's running of the Samsung Radio Shack 500. This is going to be a 500-mile, 334-lap around this mile-and-a-half racetrack. It'll be interesting to see who is going to go to victory lane in this very race as we try to go for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 wins in a row. Dave Blaney trying to go for 6 wins in a row. The all-time record is 10. I don't even know how we've broken the modern era record like we did with 5, but we have. And let's see if we can pull off another one. We'll be starting at the tail end of the field. No practice, no qualifying. This is going to be a difficult one here today, but we'll see if Dave Blaney can get the win. Green flag is in the air. We're underway. Jimmy Johnson on the pole. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Hopefully the handling on the race car is going to be good in this one. Last mile-and-a-half race at Atlanta, we ended up getting the win in part of this 5-race win streak. It was the 4th race of the year. Though Blaney only led 4 laps in that race. The only other intermediate track we've been to outside of Atlanta, the 2nd race of the year at California. And in that race, we led just 2 laps and 1 on fuel mileage. So odds are we're probably not going to have the car that is going to be the one to beat in this race. It may not be the fastest, but can we strategize our way to a potential victory? Jeff Green, bottom of the racetrack, cleans out Scott Riggs. Already got a near accident on lap 2. As we continue to stay green. That was a wild start there. NASCAR Penske Cup Series racing. Wade, Ryan Berwick, Richard Carter Sr., thanks for tuning in. They're all the first in the chat. Almost made contact with Reed Sorensen there. This car feels really tight. Oh boy. 3 wide. Still 3. Off the exit of the corner, a little contact between Dale Jr. and Jeremy Mayfield. Blaney escapes to the inside and will make the pass on both cars for 37th. Yeah, I got my Packers jersey on tonight. Go Pack, go. Season opener in Brazil. Oh boy, I shoved right in the middle of the corner there. I got out of the gas in time to keep from making contact with that 144 car. Blaney up to 32nd in the first 5 laps. Slowly moving forward. Honestly, he's passed quite a few cars, all things considered here. It just snaps up the racetrack at times. I'm definitely going to have to adjust on this car. I think I was over-aggressive maybe with the downforce side of things and trying to make sure I was going to keep this car underneath me. I think it's going to be a 50-50 matchup tonight, honestly. I can see either team... I can see really anything happening. I can see either team blowing the other out of the water, or I could see a close competitive game all the way through. There's a pretty big hit into the wall. Again, another part of this 22 car getting tight. Only that time, it was the first time I've hit the wall in the race. Smell. All right. Keep trash talking like that. The Lions are going to have another losing season this year. Caution. Oh, we got trouble. There it is, off turn 4. I was trying to figure out where the caution was at. It seemed like the yellow came out early. Brian Vickers goes for a spin and hits the wall off turn 4, causing a stack up. So kind of a half slide and then hit the wall at the right side of the car. Not last year. Well, no, not last year. A lot of years before that, though. Hey, let's not act like they didn't get whooped by the Packers on Thanksgiving last season either, all right? So calm down, man. Speaking of calm down, we are calmed down under caution. That was my segue there. All right. I got to say, though, ever since the Lions have gotten good, me living fairly close to Detroit, it's like the largest, well, I mean, obviously, I live practically a little outside Toledo, but Toledo, Ohio, but the biggest major city that has an NFL team or professional sports teams would be Detroit. I did not fire off well on this restart, by the way. My goodness. Terrible restart for Dave Blaney. Spinning the tires. But I was going to say, a lot of fans, I respect Lions fans. Because, having them and then, most of my teams that I do like are in Detroit. I've never personally disliked the Lions. You know how, like, a lot of, fan bases, there'll be people like, oh, for instance, I'm a Packers fan, obviously, so Lions are a division rival. But I've never really looked at them like that just because, a lot of my favorite sports teams based out of Michigan, so it always kind of disheartened me that they were as bad as they were for so long. So if the Packers can't take the division, I'd much rather have the Lions take it over the Vikings or the Bears. And hopefully they, make the most out of their opportunity. I'm just dissing on Wade because he's being a terrible sport. Sometimes you just got to fire back. See you week 9. Yeah, both the games they play against each other this year are, like, not that far apart schedule-wise, so see how that works out. Oh, boy. Almost crashing there. That was close. Little hit into the wall. Contact with the 147. Jimmy Johnson leads this race. Enough of a run for Blaney to get to the inside. And makes the pass for 28. Got the Rams Sunday night. Old Stafford. Old Matthew Stafford. Oh, jeez. Flipped the apron. That costed me big time. Somehow didn't lose that spot. Tight getting into turn 3. Somehow didn't make contact with Sterling Marlin in making that pass for position. Plenty moving forward. Up to 23rd, halfway through the field. Tigers came back down 3-0. That's like the story of the second half of the season for them. A lot of comeback wins. Really early in the year, they did have quite a few, too. Or there would just be quite a few games where it was pretty tight until the late innings, and then they would pull away. They've been getting after other teams' bullpens for most of the year. They definitely struggle quite a bit against the starting pitching the first 5-6 innings or so. Not all the time, obviously. You'll still have those games, but you do well offensively from start to finish. But definitely hasn't been the Tigers' repertoire so far this season. I made a bad decision of wearing an undershirt under this jersey, by the way. I am cooking right now. Like, I am burning up, and it's only lap 21. I'm, like, starting to slowly break a sweat. We got 500 miles of this. I'll put myself through the ringer here this evening. Contact with Jeff Burton. Yeah, they got a nice schedule the next couple weeks. Well, next couple series, I mean. Oakland and Colorado got to take advantage of it. They got to take at least 4 out of 6, but I'm hoping for better than that. Really trying to make a run at the playoffs. Fastest lap of the race for Blaney that last time by. Gotta be careful hitting that apron. McMurray's gonna body slam Tony Stewart. Big cut in the middle of the corner there by Blaney to try and stay in front of Yaley in the 18 as he almost got underneath him. Block Stewart on the high side for 14th. I think Jimmy Johnson's led every lap so far, all 24. Trying to get McMurray out of shape. That didn't work for Blaney. Couldn't get a run underneath the 26 car. Thirty-four days till hockey. Tight to the bottom, glued to the white line all the way through the corner. Bobbled a little bit on the exit. And made contact with Jamie McMurray. And then makes the pass in 3 and 4. I might have to make a wardrobe change midstream. I'm not kidding. I'm burning up. Might help if I turn my fan on behind me. I'm not going to make it all 500 miles like this. This is ridiculous. I don't know why it's so warm in here. It's not that hot outside today. Man, oh man. cheating tonight. Hopefully the fan's not too loud into the mic. Let me know if it's bothering anybody. I will turn it down at least a little bit. I'm not kidding. I'm only 29 laps in. I was already starting to sweat through my shirt. Like this. This jersey's pretty thick. A little warm this time of the year yet. The long sleeves. I mean, I'm sure that doesn't help. But I was wearing this shirt like all day today, and I put the jersey on right before the stream started, and I've been fine in the shirt. I think the jersey was overkill. It's a thicker jersey, too. It's, what do they call it? Authentic? I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for or not, but it is a thick jersey. It's not like the typical ones that you would buy on like NFLshop.com or something that you'd usually see there. This is very thick. Thick material. Oh, wow, Blaney got real loose off turn 4 and up against the wall he goes. And Michael Waltrip gets around him for a spot. Don't hear it? Well, that's good. That's part of the reason why I usually have the fan turned off. Is I feel like if I have it on, especially at full blast like I have it on right now, then it's going to get picked up on the mic. Because this is literally only like 2 feet behind me. If that. Matthew Dorter Bruno, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, definitely going to have to make a wedge adjustment. You have to do a few things to try to help this race car. I don't want to be too aggressive on the first stop with making the adjustment changes that we're going to need to make. Slide by Waltrip, Blaney underneath him. That thing just went straight. Car went absolutely straight, driving off into turns 3 and 4. And Blaney still can't make the pass on the 55. "52 degrees where you're at." Yeah, that is pretty cool. This time of the year. I don't consider 52 degrees cold by any means. Cool for this time of the year. Lions sweep the Packers this year. Have to wear a Lions hat during the streams of this. Yeah, that ain't happening. Both the hat and the sweep. The only way I would even consider it as like a bet you're on is if you would have to do the same thing with the Packers hat, but there's no way for you to prove that to me that you would be doing that. So I'm not someone that makes some bad bets. And like I said, though, I respect the Lions. I know I threw shade at you earlier in the stream, but that's just because you keep hounding me every night about the Packers smelling bad for whatever that's supposed to mean. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys on both teams that smell bad, for being completely honest. Maybe it's like that, one of those aged cheeses. Blaney's really stalled out. Finally makes the pass for 12th. There was a little contact getting into turn 3 initially. .41 laps in. Car just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter the longer the run goes. It's definitely not getting better as the tires continue to wear. Don't know how they're going to win without Aaron Jones. I mean, Josh Jacobs is still a good running back. I do think it is a downgrade, personally, from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. Some people are saying it's an upgrade. I mean, we don't know that for sure until we actually see the play on the field, obviously. But just like on paper, I would say that it is a downgrade. But he wasn't really a part of our offense for a lot of last season's, scheme that we had. We really did rely on Jordan Love a lot, and that's why we lost a lot first half of the season, because the guy was so young. Once he started getting his reps in and actually started really performing well second half of the year, they really turned things around quickly. So I would expect that we'll probably have a similar offense where we're not going to rely on the running game as much. I would prefer them to rely on the running game a little bit more, just so it takes pressure off of Jordan Love. Although he has a high ceiling, I just, I don't have complete 100% trust in the guy yet, but I'm like 80% of the way there. The Prophet. I haven't heard that in a while. I think we're going to short pit this run, to be completely honest. I think we're going to pit in a couple laps, try to gain some track position that way, because we got up to 12th, 13th place, and we've just kind of stalled out. 2.6 seconds off the race lead still, so try to leapfrog in the track position running game that way. If you're just tuning in, we did have a caution at lap 4. It was the only caution of the race. Brian Vickers spun off turn 4, bringing out the yellow. Jimmy Johnson has led all 47 laps of the race at the line this time by. Here comes Blaney to pit road. He will short pit the first run. Great pit road entry, no speeding there. 4 tires, full tank of gas. Going to take a half a round to wedge out of the car. And we're going to put a pound of air pressure in as well, so a couple of adjustments on this first stop. And all to see how Dave Blaney does. Saquon on the Eagles. Yeah, they definitely got an upgrade there. DeAndre Swift had a good season for him last year. You think I can win the race? I mean, I know I can. I definitely don't have the quickest car. Maybe a borderline top 10 car, but I mean, we strategized our way into 2 wins already this season in this 5-race win streak, and they were both on the other intermediate tracks. So it seems to be where I'm lacking on a speed side of things. Short tracks are pretty good, and we could be competitive enough on super speedways. They haven't had a road course yet this season, so we don't know there. But yeah, these intermediate tracks, I don't have a race-winning car. Really capitalized Bristol, Martinsville in the stretch of 5 races. I mean, Vegas, I had a good run. It was a flat mile and a half. There, I had a lot of speed, led the most laps, won the race. But yeah, the banked intermediate tracks were struggling for speed, race-winning speed. I mean, if we were really struggling for speed, I'd be running like 25th the whole race, which we kind of did for Fontana, but qualified there. If it wasn't for the fuel mileage finish, probably would have finished around there. Hopefully short pitting here for Dave Blaney's going to do him some good. And you just got to go off strategy sometimes. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I know it's not desperate considering how early we are in the race, but I'm trying to get off strategy early rather than later. If we get bit with a caution, we're in the free pass position because nobody's a lap down being this early in the race, so I can afford to, you know, at least try it. Worst case scenario, at least we're back on the lead lap. Pass made on Jeff Burton, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch now, rather Brian Vickers, just up ahead. I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs on my fantasy team. I didn't get him, though. I did get Tyreek Hill first round, so he was like my number 1, but Gibbs was like, he was definitely one of my top 3 running backs. And he almost came to me in the second round. I was going to take him. I don't know how he lasted as long as he did. How do the standings work on this season? So same as it is for the truck and the Busch series as far as points per race. There is a chase format, and it's the original chase / playoff format. Top 10 in points get in after the first 26 races, which is our regular season. And then we'll have a points reset for the final 10. And straight points racing from that point out as well. Still want to be the number 1 seed if we can. I mean, mathematically, it does give you the best shot at the championship. Even though you have a 5-point lead over second and a 10-point lead over third, the points are super tight. It's less drivers you have to jump at least when you start things off, which I believe New Hampshire is the first race of the chase. Which, you know, flatter, shorter track, really good for me, so it could be a big start to the chase if we end up making it. You're just sitting in wondering why I'm in last. I short pitted at lap 47 for 4 tires, full tank of gas. Oh, somebody's blowing a motor. think that was the 176 car, Fantasy Driver, that just blew an engine. That's the first driver to retire from the race. That moves Blaney up to 42nd. Still waiting for everybody to pit. And we've got some cars pitting this time, it sounds like, lap 58. Not many of them, but a couple on their way to pit road. Dave Blaney was in 12th place when he first hit the pit lane. Car feels a little bit better with the adjustments I made. I haven't been in super heavy traffic since we got out of the pits, though, so it's tough to say for sure, but it does feel like I freed it up at least a little bit. It's a step in the right direction. It's what we needed. Just tweeted out that I'm live right now. Appreciate it. I don't think Jimmy Johnson's hit pit road yet. There's Tony Stewart. And he cycles in front of the 20 car. You see the 12 of Ryan Newman just up ahead. Dale Jarrett, J.J. Yaley coming into pit road. Jimmy Johnson's still on the track. He's now led the first 63 laps of the race from the pole. What's the light goal today? I guess 25. That's what we had last night. We were just a little bit shy of it. This is a cup race, though, so the stream's going to be longer, so I would assume we can get there. I mean, we're already at 15, so keep them coming. Jimmy Johnson finally coming to pit road after leading the first 64 laps. Him being the last car onto pit road, we'll see if he ends up losing the lead finally. Brian Vickers leads a lap during green flag stops. I'm not sure if he pitted after his caution on lap 4 or not. If he did, might be why he's able to go as far as he has on fuel. .671 that last lap for Blaney, his fastest lap of the race. Vickers still on the racetrack. Blaney under Newman. Another 29.671. Pass made on the driver, the number 12. 412th. Oh, a little contact between Mark Martin and the 42. Casey Mears getting into the third turn. caused Kenseth to check up a bit, and here comes Dave Blaney trying to get by all of them. Got by Kenseth, looking to get by Casey Mears. And does. Trying to pick Mark Martin behind Reed Sorensen. A little contact on the front stretch. So able to use the lap car as a pick to get to ninth. I think there's a chance Casey Mears was a lap down as well. Vicker's still on the track. Vicker's finally on pit road. Dave Blaney just cannot get underneath Kyle Busch in the 5. Off of turn 4, 22 car finally there. Trying to stay to the inside into turn 1. Busch goes wide. Blaney clear for 7th. Greg Biffle has cycled to the lead for the first time here tonight. Dave Blaney 3.2 seconds off the race lead. I mean, short pitting helped him a little bit in the running order. A few cars a lap down in this one now. Paul Menard, another lapper. Being passed at the hands of the 22. Just got to keep battling for what we have. Jimmy Johnson cycled back to about 6th, 5th. Getting passed for 5th by Elliott Sadler. Sadler clear. These guys all battling back and forth, and Blaney's running down both of them. Meanwhile, Ryan Newman's been all over the back of this 22 car looking to pass him, but hasn't been able to make a run to the inside. Jeff Gordon also in this battle for position just up ahead. Keep battling, and Newman and Blaney are going to catch the 38, 24, and 48. Johnson, Gordon side by side after Sadler now moves to 4th. Clipped the apron, got a little loose. Blaney didn't lose too much momentum, though, down the back straightaway. Stayed in the gas, fought through it. Pushing hard, trying to catch these 3 cars up in front of him. And a fourth with David Stremme a lap down in the mix. Blaney to the inside of Gordon. Gordon crowds him. Blaney cleared for sixth. Johnson getting tight. There we go, up to fifth. So Johnson, who led all those laps at the beginning of the race, doesn't seem to be as fast in traffic. Losing spots on a relatively consistent basis since the first green flag stop of the night. And he just, meanwhile, ran his fastest lap of the race. Looking for a pass on the 38 of Sadler for fourth. Sadler blocking, bottom to top. And Blaney's there. Underneath that 38 car now. Was, but Sadler holds on. He had a good run off the high side on the exit of turn 4. Blaney with another run, looking low. Can't actually get underneath the 38. Lap car in the 10 of Scott Riggs on the high side. 38 and the 22 get by cleanly. We can pick him behind one of these lap cars we catch. That might be our best opportunity to make this pass. That could have been a good opportunity as well. Got loose, but then Blaney had to lift to keep from making contact with Sadler. Well, Johnson had a run on the 22, but couldn't capitalize either. Blaney gonna maybe try to pick the 38 of Sadler behind the lap car in the 147. Sadler drives it in deep into the corner. He's trying to get him to overdrive the entry like we've seen with a couple cars today, but he didn't do it. And he made a successful clean pass on the 147. And Johnson follows both the lead lap cars by the lapper. Kurt Busch, I believe, is in third. And top portion of the field is slowly bunching back together. Trying to side draft the 38. Lane off the bottom. That was enough for a little bit of clean air initially. There's just not a big enough hole for the 22 to try to capitalize. And you can see Sadler just continuing to block. Intimidation isn't working either. A little contact. That might be enough to slow Sadler up into turn 3. No, still couldn't get by. He got up into the lap car on the high side on the exit of turn 2. And you can definitely tell it slowed the momentum down on the back straightaway for the 38 car, but didn't slow it up enough apparently. Sadler maybe going to try to pull out a line to make a pass on Kurt Busch for position. Sadler with a nice run on the back straightaway. Overdrives the corner into Kurt Busch. Both cars up to the outside of the track, and up to third goes Dave Blaney underneath both cars. Clean pass, got him to overshoot the corner. All right. Too much of that white line there. Been waiting all day for the stream. Well, appreciate your presence. A little over a second off the race lead. Says as high in the running order as Blaney has been so far. Again, currently in third. I believe Kevin Harvick looks to be in second, and then Greg Biffle, the race leader. Biffle cycled out of the pits with the lead following the green flag stops. Blaney pitted lap 47, so short pitted the first run. Not going to short pit this run. Going to try to take this as long as we can. Took Sadler making a mistake for us to get around him. Way too much of the apron. Again, big loose moment by the 22. Holds on for third, but lost some time. Didn't realize it, but Johnson ended up getting by Kurt Busch for position as well. Blaney was 3/10 slower than Biffle that last lap with how loose he got off turn 2. Car's still a little snug. We took a step in the right direction, but it is still a little bit tight. I don't know how much better I'm going to be able to make it, though, to be completely honest. Because I'm scared to loosen it up more and then it just gets too loose on the long run. I don't want that because we already short pitted one run, so it's going to be difficult to kind of short pit more going forward unless we get any cautions, of course. And the only reason I say that is in case, you know, we don't get any yellows and it might put us outside the window of making it on the same amount of stops as the rest of the field. We don't want that to happen. Quarter tank of gas left this point in the run. It's been 52 laps since the last stop for Blaney. But being the first to pit road the first time, even if we run this out all the way, we'll probably still end up being the first car to pit road this time around. We saw the last guys pit around lap 64. Pretty much lap 58 to 64 they all pitted. Except for Blaney, who pitted at lap 47, 11 laps before the next driver to pit. Lap car right in front of us. Lap 101 of 334 here today at Texas Motor Speedway. Kickoff for my Packers tonight's at 8:15, so pacing to get it done on time as of right now. Going to be getting done like right before kickoff. Blaney getting by, Hans good. Goes a bit wide, got a piece of the wall. And as a result, Elliott Sadler gets by for position. So all that fighting to get by Sadler for third earlier, and now Blaney falls back a spot after pushing tight into the wall off turn 2. It just gets tighter and tighter the longer the run goes. Same thing happened on the first run. We've had to go more laps this run. Now that I'm behind the 38 car, it feels even worse on corner entry than what it did before. Every time you say smelly in the chat, it makes me think of the Mr. Krabs thing with the... It's got that smelly smell that smells real smelly. Or something like that. Smelly smell. Smelly smell that smells smelly. Sadler's so difficult to pass. Made a huge mistake for the 22 to get by him the first time. It's probably going to take that same thing to get by him this time as well. Oh, maybe not. Big run for Blaney. Overdrove the corner into Sadler. That wasn't the way to get it done. Both cars lose a bunch of time there. Class reunion coming? I don't know. Maybe. I have no clue what years the class reunions are at my school. Are they the same universally at every school? I have no clue. I don't plan on attending it, I'll tell you that much. I told myself after I graduated I wasn't going to step foot in that building ever again. And then I ended up going back the next year. That's because my sister decided to join the basketball team out of pure randomness, so I was going to her home games those last couple years. As a result, ended up back in the gymnasium, but after that, yeah, no, that's it. Graduated 2018. They might have had a 5-year thing. I would have never known about it. I don't know if that is a thing or not. I don't know when they usually do them. Hard time here for Blaney trying to get by Elliott Sadler. So it's a 10-year thing. I don't even know if our school does it either. Like, I really don't know. Maybe they do it. It's super small. My graduating class is only like 60 people. It was a small school. Well, 5 years would have been last year. I don't know. I never heard anything about it. So maybe they didn't have anything, honestly. I don't know. Sadler has caught Kevin Harvick. For position. Sadler overdrives the corner into Harvick. And Blaney got into the back of the 38. And couldn't get by either car. We're getting pretty low on fuel, so we're definitely going to have to pit very soon. Heavy lap traffic around race leader Greg Biffle. Sadler up to second, getting by Harvick. Even with the little contact, he did make the pass. More than a little. It was a lot of contact, but he made the pass. I'm going to try to go to lap 114, and then we'll pit. Really trying to push this fuel window. Stay out this time. Blaney will pit the following time by. Really trying to stretch this second run out. Pass made on Reed Sorensen. Sorensen another lap down. Well, Blaney's made his way up to fourth. He was third at one point in the middle of this run. Lost a spot to Sadler. Sadler has then made his way to second. And here comes Blaney to pit road this time. Good pit road entry. Did not speed. 4 tires, full tank of gas. No adjustments this time around. Alrighty. Looks like we're going to have a slow stop. Front tire changer having problems trying to get the right front tire off. And it's going to make for a lengthy stop. Wow, 18.5 seconds. That is definitely a slow stop for the 22 team. Not what they needed during green flag action at lap 115. So that's the second stop of the day. Definite time lost. And he's trying to get back up to speed. I'd imagine any lap will start to see everybody else hit pit road. Be interested if Greg Biffle ends up setting the pace again with the pit stops. One car just came onto pit road that last time by. Lap 118. Yeah, so not staying out that much further than Blaney this time, with Blaney going that run as far as he could. Really stretched that window out quite a bit. Want a caution? Yeah, we haven't had one since lap 4. Things have definitely gotten spaced out. We don't need one right now, though. We need everything to cycle through first. Don't want to get trapped a lap down. Greg Biffle still out on the track. Trying to get underneath Matt Kenseth. Kenseth may have wanted to pit that time, but he's not going to be able to. 22 getting underneath and making the pass on him through 3 and 4, so Kenseth's going to have to go one more lap. I don't think Kenseth's pitting this time either. I lied. There he goes. He entered a little wide into the corner again. I thought he was going to stay out another lap. Guess what? He wanted to pit the lap before. I should have known he was going to try to come down no matter what that time. Biffle finally on pit road. So Blaney pitted from 4th. It'll be interesting to see how far back in the running order he may cycle following this set of green flag pit stops. Again, there was a slow stop on the front tire changer on the right side of the race car. Caused for an 18.5 second Ford tire stop. So very slow. Want to be down around that 14, 15 second mark as much as we can. That'd be a pretty good time in this day and age of NASCAR. 2006. Oh, caution's out, but I think Jimmy Johnson did not pit yet. He was the leader. This is our second caution of the race as we have trouble in turn 3. Oh, a couple cars involved there. The one, looked like the 109 and the 96 of Tony Raines. And then somebody piled into the 109. I think it was a 66 of Jeff Green. So both the Haas automated cars involved in the crash. So now the caution is out, which is going to make for a very interesting situation here. We're going to have some split strategy. Everybody that has... I should have stayed out. That might have given me the wave around. Oh, well. I wanted to top off on fuel. We're not going to make any adjustments here. But 4 tires, full tank of gas are going to top off. Try to get back on the same strategy, and unfortunately we're going to be a lap down with this caution coming out. I'm not sure how many cars are going to be a lap down, but we have quite a few a lap down. Yeah, we did not need that caution then. So Dave Blaney 1 lap down. It's going to put him in a tough spot trying to get this lap back the rest of this race. And the win streak is in jeopardy here tonight. Kevin Harvick will be the leader on the restart. And all the cars in the inside lane on a lap down as of right now. Green flag back in the air. And quite a few still on the lead lap. 25th is where Dave Blaney sits on the restart. After that ill-timing caution. Trying to take on the fresher tires so he can drive up here and try to get himself in the free pass position for when the next yellow is to come out afterwards. It is still a long race. We got a little over 200 to go yet, but and not something you wanted to see here if you're Dave Blaney. Points leader nonetheless. .557 that last lap, fastest lap of the race. This 22 car trying to pull himself forward. He sits in 26th. A lot of the apron was touched there. A lot of contact between Michael Waltrip and Tony Raines. Blaney had that contact getting into the corner. He ended up down on the apron. But out of harm's way eventually. Contact with the 96. Blaney still clears Waltrip. .109 car, not a spot. Thought it was going to be. It was not. Still a lot of cars up in front of us. A lot of them on the lead lap. A lot of them a lap down. Three wide. Passes made there by Dave Blaney. Got a couple of them for position out of that, up to 21st now. Jeff Gordon leads the race at this moment. And we got old trouble right in front of us, and Blaney's caught up in it. Heavy damage to the 22. Nowhere to go. Ryan Newman got turned off the front bumper of Matt Kenseth. And there was nowhere for Dave Blaney to go. He runs right into the back of the 17 car, and that brings out our third caution of the day. That's going to knock some speed out of the race car. I hit him head on. Dang, that crinkled the nose up quite a bit. Can't take fuel or tires bringing out the caution, but it's going to be a lot of damage that's going to have to be repaired. 6.7 seconds of damage on the 22. And there was nowhere to go. We were all on the inside line. Surprised he didn't slide up the racetrack. He just kind of stayed down on the bottom when he spun and just nowhere to go. It happened so quick. He was only a couple cars in front of us, too. Oh, trying to mold the hood back together. That was definitely not needed. Green flag. And still a lap down. And back in 37th now is this 22 car. Really wondering how hurt this car is after that contact. When he's stuck on the outside of the racetrack, can't get down to the bottom. Oh, wow, somebody blowing up. Bottom of the racetrack. Didn't realize we were 3 wide with Blaney on top there. I really don't know how we're going to get back on the lead lap in this thing. I'd have to imagine the car's hurt after that contact with Kenseth. Couple of back-to-back yellows here hurting this 22 team. After running in the 4th place position before pitting at lap 114, excuse me. No, I didn't even get a yearbook. I was checked out of high school and I was done. Trust me, I didn't care about any of that stuff. Most of my fond memories of high school were more like outside of school, clearly with like my friends and stuff growing up, but yeah, not. I didn't look at it too finely in school, at least. I was there, you know, I did what I was supposed to do, and I left. I graduated. I accomplished all I needed to accomplish. It's in the history books. I mean, we just ran a 29.502, so I think the lap was still, I mean, the car's obviously still decent. .42 car up into the one, a lot of contact there. But we stay green. This traffic is jam-packed 2x2 in front of us. Middle of the pack. Looking hectic. Yeah, I never really attended football games on Friday night either. I think the only one I ever went to was my senior year. I went to one game because my sister was in band. And when she was a freshman, there was one game in particular. I remember like they did like a halftime concert. So I went to that game, but then I left at halftime after the concert was over. So yeah, I didn't care too much. I played the sports I was in. Pretty much kind of kept to myself. It's always that quiet kid. Never would have imagined I would have ended up doing this down the line, that's for sure. Me and probably everybody else. Another 29.502 that last lap. Dave Blaney tries to carve through the field. Line of cars kind of stacked up towards the outside. Oh man, Blaney hit from behind, getting down into 3. Dave Blaney going to win today? I don't think so. Not only do I not have the fastest car, but I'm a lap down after that caution in the middle of green flag pit stops, so I don't know. It's looking very difficult. I've got fresher tires than a lot of these cars, but I don't see us getting all the way back up here. Tell you what, between that Dodge Raceway race and the Busch Series the other night and this one, we have just been banged with terribly timing cautions. I mean, at least he still finished second in that Busch race, but I'd be lucky to scrape away a top 5, top 10 after this. I don't know exactly how many cars are on the lead lap, so I don't know what position would guarantee us a free pass spot if we were to get another caution. Just made a pass. Oh, boy. Flipped a lot of the apron there. Well, I almost made a pass for 20th. We have not led a lap in this race either. Just kind of remembered that. Been as high as third at one point. I haven't been able to make it far enough into a fuel run, though, that guaranteed me to lead any laps either. Just can't make that pass. Both Packers fans, yep. It's game night. Game night on the cock. The peacock. It's like the one streaming platform I'm okay with NFL games going to, only because I have it anyway for all the premium live events for WWE are on there. So I already had Peacock anyway for that reason. I don't have to go out of my way to repurchase a subscription for the game tonight. So, oh boy, a lot of contact again off turn 4. I cannot get by that car. Very little room to get underneath them off the exit of a corner. Clip the grass and back on course. I mean, a caution doesn't do us any good right now anyway. Because I know for a fact I'm not in a free pass spot. Because I know that guy would be for position. And I don't know how many more spots, you know, behind Gordon ahead of him we would have to get as well. Yeah, I did hear about the Lincoln Park. I didn't hear about it until this morning, actually. I think it was just because I was at work yesterday when they announced it, so I didn't see anything. Wasn't really on the, on the internet at all anyway yesterday. I actually forgot my phone here, so I wasn't on the internet like all day yesterday. Outside of when I was streaming, I guess technically when I got home, and then I watched the football game last night. So yeah, that was it. I didn't hear about it till today. I listened to. I was kind of skimming through that live concert that they had that they put on YouTube. I guess they live streamed it yesterday. Just kind of skimming through to see what it sounded like. I honestly thought she did pretty good. I've never heard of her. Or the band she was with before that. I heard that they were trying to look for a female singer as their new vocalist, but yeah, I thought she did pretty good. I listened to that new song they released as well. I mean, I'm always going to be like, Hybrid Theory always sits, in my place. Like that's one of my favorite albums from the beginning of time. It's like really one of the first like rock or like metal bands that I listened to growing up when I was younger. So I was always bummed that I never got a chance to see Linkin Park in person, so hopefully they do like an American tour sometime next year, or U.S. tour sometime next year, and I'll definitely fork my money over to go see them. I know it's not the same, but I saw Pantera for the first time, last year, and I know it's not the same. They were touring with Metallica, so I went to see Metallica in Detroit. I know they're missing, half of their band members, but, I would never had a chance to see them a long time ago, obviously, so glad I at least got to see some rendition of them in their music live in person, so hope for the same when hopefully Lincoln Park comes somewhere to town, somewhere close, hopefully. I know they got 2 U.S. states, but I don't live anywhere close to Los Angeles or New York City, so definitely won't be attending those. Billy's Libraries, thanks for tuning in. So Mark Martin was first spot. That was for 18th. Kind of followed Jeremy Mayfield through to that spot. One car I was trying to pass a little bit ago, he's the next car up ahead of Mayfield, so he's making passes, and I'm struggling to keep up with him. One of the fantasy drivers. McMurray's in position. We have to follow Mayfield to get this next spot in line. Oh, pushed a little too hard up into the wall. Caught a piece of the apron. Made the pass for 16th, but lost some ground on the pack of cars up ahead. Been making music together since 2019. Well, I mean, yeah, so it sounds like this is, I mean, clearly when they released, a song and an album and all that at once, they've clearly been together for a minute. I'm surprised they were able to keep that behind closed doors as much as they are, especially in this day and age with the media the way it is. Like, I'm surprised, like a TMZ or something wasn't able to report on this well in advance. Especially how long they've, been kind of quietly, making music together. So it's cool, though, that something like that was able to go unseen for so long. And it's also kind of funny how there have been rumors of, like, other people that could have potentially have been the lead vocalist, and, like, they were all shot down because they weren't true, and ended up, obviously, they were untrue, so. Definitely a bombshell that was dropped yesterday, to say the least. I'm all in for it. Mark the Mars, thanks for tuning in as well. Well, you're here for the second half of the race. Hopefully, you did better than what I am right now. I know we were a lap down in 15th at one point, but we did get one caution after that. So I don't know, who would have gotten the free pass then. You just got to keep passing cars, and the closer we can get up to Gordon before, another potential caution if we see any more. Could be big. Aggressive line for Blaney off turn 2 to get underneath Casey Kane. That pass was for a spot as well, up to 15th now for Blaney. And that pass on Kyle Busch for 14th. So spots, again, have been picked up. Mayfield was a position. Slides clear for 13th place. Harvick, Burton, Blaney all under Stewart. Stewart not for a position for the 22 at least. Jeff Burton goes wide in the middle of 3 and 4, and Blaney drives under him. That's not a spot either. All clear. 29.471, fastest lap of the race for the 22. We might be in the free pass spot now. Again, it is hard to... Didn't officially decide? Well, like even as of right now, they didn't officially decide? I haven't read anything, so all I saw was her name, and then, yeah, the band she was in, like you mentioned a little bit ago. That green flag pit stop's going on right now. Three wide. A little bit 3 wide on the backstretch. There's a very deep dive by Blaney, just trying to dig hard to get underneath this 29 of Harvick. That's going to cost him the ability to stay in front of the 48 as well. Now up to 12th with that one car in the lead lap that pitted out this lead pack already. I topped off on fuel during these, it would have been technically the second caution, which came out in the middle of green flag pit stops. Harvick, contact with the 48. I should say the 48 really was the one that hit the 29, but no caution as we continue to stay green. Man, I was really hoping that was going to be our yellow. I was hoping. Well, I got slightly fresher tires right now. I mean, fast enough that we've won races, I guess. His equipment on the short tracks is a B, which isn't bad. And I was able to win the first 2 short tracks at Bristol and Martinsville as a result. Vegas, I led the most laps, but then we won at California on fuel mileage. I only led the last 2 laps. It would have finished probably a lap down. I think it was 25th. At the point before the fuel strategy started in that one, with a weird caution at the edge of a pit window, and I stretched the final run out. And then Atlanta, I only led 4 laps and won there. So it's kind of the same way. It seems like the banked ovals, the banked intermediate tracks, is going to be my weak point probably the rest of the season. And here we are in this one, just haven't led yet at all either. Man, if we can get a caution. I'm definitely the free pass car. I doubt Dale Jr. or Ryan Newman's a lap down. And Newman pitted during that last yellow, so he might even be able to go further than us on fuel. Up to 8th. '24 stays out at least another lap. Same for the 8 and the 12. So 7 cars are on the lead lap currently. Newman passes Earnhardt. Gonna get by Dale Jr. Jeff Gordon again, still out on the racetrack. Wow, 29.387. Again, the fastest lap of the race. And now underneath the 12. Oh boy. Gotta stop doing that. Little contact. Gordon's still out on the track. 5 cars on the lead lap now, and Dale Jr. is on pit road. I mean, yeah. Topping off what we did, maybe we can make it on one less stop and get our lap back that way. I mean, there's a chance of it. Ryan Newman pitted later than me, though, so I feel like he would be able to do the same thing. Up to 4. 3 cars on the lead lap. Can we get a caution right now? Sorensen's not 1 lap down either, so... Can we get a caution now? What about now? No. Still not getting it. All right, so it looks like Newman and Gordon.
Trying to make it as clean as possible. Do the same. The 41 car, high up high. Still alongside. You must like it because he's giving you some room.
I definitely feel I can make it. Well, there's Gordon. Okay, so Ryan Newman. Newman is the only car that hasn't hit pit road. So whatever kind of fuel mileage or pit strategy we get in this race, Ryan Newman will be right there with us. And he's probably going to be able to go a couple laps further than us on fuel, too. Or the magic words, please. That would probably make sense. Can I please get a caution? Right now. No, that didn't work either. That would have been hilarious if it did, though. Where's a genie when you need one? So we know that there's 13 cars on the lead lap. Obviously, staying out of the pits as long as I have, I might lose time to them. I think I might go right sides only just to try to see if I could stay in 13th. Maybe, just maybe, stay on the lead lap rather than having to get the free pass. I mean, it's a risk, but it's a risk more for the handling side of things more than anything. I'm going to stay out one more lap, by the way. We're going to pit at lap 196. Try not to lock the tires up onto pit road this time. Try for 4 fuel. I don't know. I don't think I can make it on fuel on 2 more stops from here, honestly. Good pit road entry. Gonna put a half a round of wedge into the car because we will be going right side tires only. I'm just gonna beg for a caution. And we've had 3 of them in the race, so maybe we'll get another. Still got over 100 laps left. Newman might be the only one that could maybe make this race on 2 stops. Well, we're in 13th right now. So we're not going to be on the lead lap because Jeff Gordon and Greg Biffle are in front of us. But the hope with taking this 2-tire stop, at least we're in the free pass position. If a caution were to come out, well, we'd be in the free pass position once Ryan Newman pits. So we can't get a yellow right now. We'd have to at least wait long enough for a caution to come out after Ryan Newman pits for this strategy play to work. One more stop to go, 69 and 69. That's going to be tough. I don't think I've made it that far the whole race. I think the furthest I went was like 64. So we're like 10 laps. About 10 laps short then to be able to make it that far. 5 laps on each run. I also didn't want to take a 4-tire stop in case the pit crew made a mistake like they did the last time we pitted under green. They actually lost time because of that. I couldn't afford to lose time and fall out of the free pass spot at this point. All right, Newman will pit now. So back to 1 lap down for the 22 of Blaney. We gotta wait for everybody else that's 1 lap down to get their lap back before we can hope for a caution. Newman trying to get back up to speed. So he cycles back in the running order a bit. You can see him getting his way up to speed, bottom of the racetrack into turn 3. Jeff Gordon back out in front here at the Texas Motor Speedway. I believe he has led the most laps in this race as of this point. All I can do is hope and pray, basically. Yeah, I mean, that's why we're still running. That's what we're here for. Problem is, too, this thing stays green long enough. I'm scared that whoever's in 12th or a couple positions ahead of that might go a lap down before the finish also. So then if that happens, then we get a caution. I'm still not in the free pass spot. Newman's close to being able to make this thing on 1 more stop. He's definitely closer than me. He pitted just a couple laps ago. I think if anybody's in a fuel mileage race, it's going to be the driver, the number 12, as he tries to go for his first win of the season. Gordon not in the top 10 in points. I thought he was in the top 10. Thought he was on the graphic coming into the night. Mathematically, Dale Jr. is the only driver who could take the points lead from us here today. If he finishes high enough up in the running order compared to that of Dave Blaney here. Oh, didn't need that. Flipped away too much of the apron. Kurt Busch was not in position. And neither is Elliott Sadler. That was a big loose moment. Good save, though, for Blaney.
Outside, you got one outside. All clear, bud.
Yeah, that old win streak's in jeopardy.
Going inside. Clear, all clear.
Remember, Sadler already has older left side tires than everybody. Even though Sadler's not for position, at least puts one more buffer car between us and the driver that would try to catch us for this free pass position.
Normally, you see him blocking right about now. What's going on? You got both sides, you're all clear. Been pretty good about giving us some room lately.
Paul Menard should be a few laps down, so he definitely won't be a spot.
Going outside.
At least one extra lap behind us.
Clear on both sides.
Blaney clears him cleanly off turn 4. Blaney is slowly creeping back in on Kurt Busch. Sadler going to try to do the same on that 2 for position.
Not blocking like usual.
Blaney to the inside of the 2.
All clear.
Makes a pass. 147 car shouldn't be on the lead lap either. Man, just like I said, there's nothing we can do other than just kind of patiently wait and hope we catch a caution. Looks like Gordon's got one more lap car. Maybe a couple more. It looks like more than one on the track map. And maybe there's a hope that we somehow can make up a little bit more fuel on the field and maybe get a second place finish out of it. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race. A little too wide on entry into 3 there. About 110 laps left at the Texas Motor Speedway. I mean, right now the car's handling well. Taking the right sides only. I felt like putting that half around a wedge into it just to be safe definitely helped. I clipped the apron. That didn't help. Sadler going to get on by. And so does Kurt Busch on the outside. Dale Jr. next car behind us. Yeah, I caught the apron off turn 4. Kept it off the wall, though. Didn't damage the car any. Still in the free pass spot, more than likely, so as long as nobody in front of us ended up going a lap down. 12th on up. Which again, we won't know if that will happen or not unless we catch somebody, and then we don't know if that would be the only car in that predicament. Contact with Earnhardt. I had to lift off turn 2 and I got hit there. Car jumped up the racetrack. Definitely see another lap car right up in front of Elliott Sadler. Earnhardt catching Kurt Busch for position. Inside off turn 2, got by Kurt Busch, side by side with Earnhardt. Dale Jr. a little too big of a run for the 22 to stay underneath him. Scott Riggs in the number 10 car is upcoming. Already halfway out of gas. Earnhardt trying to get underneath Elliott Sadler. Not quite going to be able to do so that time. Left front tire in the red on the tire wear indicator for Dave Blaney. Earnhardt up the racetrack. All on his own. Blaney underneath him through 3 and 4. Side by side. And the 22 completes the pass into turn 1. I definitely had my struggles getting by Elliott Sadler the whole race, both when we were on the lead lap and now lap down. The left side tires, as old as they are, not going to make this pass any easier for the 22. Not enough speed down the back. Three wide. Full contact. Well, there's contact there as well between the 109 and the 38. But we do stay green. I feel like I've only passed Elliott Sadler this entire race when he's made a mistake. Or he's had contact with another car. I mean, that one wasn't really his fault that time. It was the car that was outside that got up against the wall and then made contact with him. But yeah, that's the only way I've passed in that 38 car this whole race. I believe Ryan Newman's the next car up ahead. We got a little less than 100 laps to go. And those left side tires pretty old for Dave Blaney right now. Butter sandwich. Oh, peanut butter sandwich. I missed the peanut part. That was the way I started my my morning off. Woke up, first thing I did was make a peanut butter sandwich. That was my early breakfast. I didn't have chunky at the time, though, unfortunately. That would be the go-to. I was forced to use creamy. That's all I had. Elliott Sadler coming to pit road. With around 95 laps to go, Sadler pits. Four of them. I feel like I'd clog my arteries if I had four of them in a row. Definitely need a lot of liquids to wash that down. Contact with Hans Good, the 180, hurt Blaney's corner exit off turn 4. Speaking of getting liquids, I'm going to go down and give myself a water. I turned the fan on. It definitely helped, but still cooking. Long race. Back in 30. I grabbed this while I was at it too. Alrighty then. I ain't taking the jersey off. Must represent. Go Pack Go. Okay. Now the left rear's in the red on the tire wear indicator too. Definitely pushing hard. On's good blocking all the way down the backstretch, just to the inside into the corner. A little contact from Dave Blaney. Blaney makes the pass. Just past Biffle, who was coming out of the pits. He's one of the drivers for position that was ahead of Dave Blaney in the running order. Jeff Gordon still out on the track and has not made a pit stop yet. We would have 9 cars on the lead lap with where we are running currently. There's even more incentive for us to get a caution right now, hopefully. I think I'm going to have to go 2 tires again, but it's going to have to be left sides only the next time. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I can get away with that, though, at the same time. I'm probably going to have to take 4. Probably going to have to go for 4 tires next time. Hopefully I stay in 13th. Man. That's going to hurt too. A pass from Biffle was for position there. And Biffle has already pit. Newman is back in the lead. I think I see Jeff Gordon getting up to speed up there, who has also hit pit road. So, I mean, now Dave Blaney isn't even in the free pass position until everybody cycles through, including himself, of course. You just wonder when we hit pit road at this point. Hill Jr. to pit road. Blaney should be able to cycle in front of him. Honestly, the cars that have already pitted, I think Biffle and Gordon are going to be the only two that are going to actually cycle out in front of Dave Blaney. Mike G, thanks for tuning in. And Blaney up to fourth. Biffle into Nemechek, both cars sideways and no caution. That pass for Biffle was for position. That moves Blaney to third. We stay green still. Man, and you're just wondering at this point, what is it going to take to get a yellow again? Some heavy contact between the two of those cars on multiple occasions in that midst of the initial contact. Lenny really pushing on fuel here. Trying to. I mean, yeah, if we can make it on one more stop, that would lock us into a better finish. I don't think we'll win the race with Ryan Newman still out on the track, but... And Jeff Gordon's still ahead of us even after pitting once, too. He was just too far back, but... I could try to get a top 5 out of this. You know, at the very least. .266, 267 to make it on one more stop. I don't know that I can make it that far. Our tires are flashing too. Now we might end up blowing a tire before get to the end of a pit run. Those left sides are over 100 laps old. They've definitely been through the ringer. I'll try to go that far. I just don't think I can. No, I don't think I can. Again, this will be a 4-tire stop for Dave Blaney when he does decide to hit pit road, as we have still not seen a caution. in what is more than likely now the longest green flag run of the race. We've had 3 cautions total. It's not at the time that Dave Blaney has needed it. Ryan Newman pitting this time. So Newman pits. So get Blaney back on the lead lap. Now we really need a caution. Now that we're back on the lead lap. Really, really shovey in the middle of the corner there. Trying to hang on, a little contact. Made it to lap 264. I'm going to pit this time. I've gone as far as I could. There's Newman coming out of the pits. Blaney up to second, but I don't think he's going to catch his caution. Blaney going to pit this time by... He'll have 70 laps to go in this race. When he exits pit road, trying to get as much as he could that time. Oh, no, I spammed through the... What are my pit options? Hopefully they give me a full tank. I spammed through it. I don't know what they're going to give me. I was trying to gas it up, getting back into the pits, and I spammed through the pit options. I definitely was going to take 4 tires. I don't know how much fuel they're going to give me, though. Oh, man, and that doesn't help either. Jackman falling over. That's the second mistake on a green flag stop today for the 22 team. Be nice if we saw the animation of how much gas is going in the car right now. They did not get it full. You have got to be kidding me. Mark Martin just passed us. Had a quarter tank of gas left. How does that happen? How do we not get the tank full? Like, why is it not automatically an option to top off on fuel when I go to pit road? We took 4 tires, which I wanted, but... I mean, we should be in the window to still make it on one more stop, even with the gas we put in it. But that's not, like, that's not what we need, because we need a caution. But now I'm not even in the free pass spot, and I can't go long enough into this run to get that time back. We're in a world of hurt right now, ladies and gentlemen. Gosh darn it. If it stays green to the end of the race, I don't think this is going to end up ultimately hurting us, but it puts us at a huge risk of... Now we need it to go green the rest of the race. We were hoping for a caution, and now we needed to go green just to lock ourselves into a 13th or 14th place finish, because we have to pit well before the next cars that would have to pit. Unless we get by Mark Martin for the free pass spot for 13th and then hope for a caution. That 6-car Mark Martin's the one we're catching. Well, I'm definitely going fuel only next time I stop. And I'm not taking tires at all. Considering we're probably going to have less than 20 laps on our tires by the next time we have to pit. Just cleared the 29 of Harvick off turn 2. Just a little ways behind Martin for position and for the free pass spot. Can and a half of fuel. Whatever fills it up. I don't know. I don't want to be too risky with that. Because if we have to pit again at the end, then we're really going to hurt our finish. You know, at this point, we just got to try to get the best finish we possibly can, which is 13th. And honestly, going fuel only, that should cycle us ahead of the 6. We stay green to the end of the race. Maybe there's a chance we catch somebody else in the running order who might get lapped before the end of the race. So even going splash and go only, we're not going to make our lap up on Jeff Gordon. And we're still going to remain a lap down. It's just not going to happen. We've lost so much time to him. Crazy. He's definitely got a quick car. .63 to go right now. Well, we're going to be the first one to pit last. Newman pitted about 3 laps before us, so I don't think he can make it. So even his fuel strategy is more than likely out of play, and Jeff Gordon's the man to beat. Honestly, if that Jackman didn't make the mistake on his pit stop, I think we'd be in front of the 6 car right now. It was a slow stop by the 22 team, costing him a position, on top of having those older tires staying out as long as they did. His left side tires were extremely shot. If the Jackman doesn't fall over, we're definitely in front of that 6 car, because we're within a second or so of him now. It's the next car up in front of us. I still don't know if we're going to catch him before we have to pit or not. I mean, the only hope is that we do catch him, we pass him, and then we get a quick yellow. And that would bring the entire field to pit road, because the fuel window is more than likely open to the end of the race now, as we have about 60 laps to go. Quite a bit of lap traffic the 6 car is catching. Less than 2 down after? No, there's no chance. We're going to fall 2 laps down. I'm like almost a half a track behind him. Splash and go, if we were like right there with Gordon 1 lap down, then I'd say we'd have a chance to keep that lap. But yeah, we're not keeping this lap. We're definitely going 2 down. Whipping a lot of the apron there, and that cost Blaney some time to get underneath Sorensen in the middle of 3 and 4. Get underneath them on the front stretch instead. And we'll make the pass in 1 and 2. And try to go to lap 281 before pitting. Mainly because I just really don't want to pit, but we're going to have to. Stremme might cross the 6 car of Mark Martin back over again.
He wasn't so friendly. He'd be blocked.
Nope, not quite. Thought he was going to. Blaney's going to try to extend this run one more lap.
Number 40 is closing the gap. Look at the
There are 54 laps left. Ryan Newman, by the way, has just taken the lead away from Jeff Gordon. So maybe not on strategy. Maybe Newman can win this race outright on speed. As he's caught the 24 car, and here comes the 22 into the pits. Can't speed. Again, it'll be a fuel-only stop.
adding fuel.
Dang, man. Would have had a shot at winning, getting the full tank. I don't know about that. We would have been able to run until about the last 5 laps or so, but I don't think we would have made it on fuel. So Blaney sits in 32nd. 2 laps down and pretty much in no man's land. And the hope now is to stay green long enough that he can cycle as the first car 1 lap down into 13th. And then try to catch a caution from that point to get his lap back in the final 20 laps or so. I mean, that's really about all we can hope for here. We're good on fuel to the end. Tire's going to have to go 70 laps, so just a handful of laps longer than a full run. It's not bad. Not falling off that drastically, so they'll be able to hold up to the finish. Too shy at most. Well, then you also got to account for the fact that would have had to cycle into the lead, and Jeff Gordon, Ryan Newman were so far ahead of us. I mean, we were in third, well, second technically. I was just ahead of Newman at the time. So I wasn't even like up past Gordon. I would have had to somehow try to gain time. I didn't see how far behind him I was at that time, how many seconds back of Gordon when we were on the lead lap for a couple laps before I pitted the second to last time. And second place for that lap or two. That's as high as we got in the running order, but was unable to lead a lap in tonight's race. It'll be the first time Blaney has not led a lap in a race this season. And this will be the first time he won't finish on the lead lap in a race this year as well. Unless he can get the free pass once everything cycles through for the final time. Which it's still going to be a little bit yet. I mean, we saw cars pitting around 95 to go. So I'd assume somewhere between 30, 35 laps left, we'll start to see cars pit. We'll probably have rounded out through pit stops with about 20 to go, 20, 25 laps left. So there will be a little bit of time we'll have to try to get the free pass spot. And honestly, with going fuel only there on our last stop, we should cycle back in front of the 6 of Martin as we were within a second of him for 13th. So we stay green to the end of the race. The worst we can finish is 13th. But obviously, if we catch a caution and get trapped 2 laps down here, then we're in some trouble. We're not going to have a good finish at all. I mean, 13th isn't a top 10 by any means, but hopefully we can keep the points lead over Dale Jr. I think Jr. is going to have a top 10 day if he stays in the race to the end, but I'm not sure how far up in the running order exactly he's going to be. Yeah, the win streak's definitely looking like it's going to come to an end. Yeah, these banked intermediate tracks, I just don't have a car capable of winning. You know, I mean, we only led laps on strategy at Atlanta and on fuel mileage at California, and I ended up getting the win in those races. Here today, we were on the wrong side of a caution and just never had a chance to get back into it. I think Newman spun earlier in the race, and he still might have a shot at the win. Could be a spin and win day for Newman. No guarantees they would do fuel only. Yeah, the AI always take 4 tires. They never go fuel only. Not in these EA games, at least. About 44 laps left with where we are right now. Well, we're 2 laps down, so technically we'll get to the line this time. We'll be at 41 laps left with where Ryan Newman is at. Looks like we'll get another new winner this season, our 3rd different winner. Again, hopefully we just hang on to the points lead. Next race is at Phoenix. It's a flatter, shorter track. You know, that's going to be in our wheelhouse. I'd like to think we can go for the win there. Then we try to survive Talladega and move on into the summer months after that. I mean, if you would have told me I was going to win 5 races on the season before the season started, knowing I was going to run as Dave Blaney, we were going to be, you know, down on equipment, I would have said, well, I'll take that. The fact that it was as early in the season as we've had it, I mean, that's insane. Makes us really dream big for the rest of the year going forward. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet as well. We're 3 likes away from our goal of 25. And 3 likes shy of our goal tonight. And our next stream will be tomorrow afternoon. Take a break from NASCAR 07 until Monday. As tomorrow afternoon, we will be live for NASCAR Cup Series qualifying at Atlanta. And then also a live commentary stream for the Xfinity race at Atlanta. So 2 live commentary streams tomorrow, doubleheader for a little Saturday afternoon in September. And that will be our next content on the channel. So 12:30 Eastern for qualifying for the Cup Series tomorrow, and then 3 p.m. Eastern for the Xfinity race. And I believe both of those will be on the USA Network as well. A little less than 40 laps left here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Waiting for pit stops to cycle all the way through one more time. Dave Blaney's good on fuel to the end, so if we stay green, he will pick up at least to 13th. You know, tough to say how many more cars we may be able to get position-wise after that. That could be a lap down before the end of the race. Which also kind of goes to show that we may not be in the free pass position. If somebody else loses a lap, I hope that's not the case, just in case we were to get a caution.
Getting a little more cushion than usual from him. Go on.
No, we haven't seen another yellow yet. Still sitting at 3 cautions on the day.
Clear on either side.
I mean, we should see these guys pit any lap. We know Newman's going to be able to go the furthest on fuel. And he's already the leader, so, you know, with short pitting to the end, we'll see if Jeff Gordon can cycle back to the lead one more time and then try to hold off Newman the rest of the race. I'd imagine Jeff Gordon will go on to lead the most laps in this race. And we do have one more car on pit road that last time because Blaney picked up a spot, so... Lap 300, we've got green flag pit stops going on for the final time, it appears, at least just starting. Unless that was somebody that blew an engine. No, I don't think that was the case. They're exiting pit road just up ahead. Not sure who it is. Fantasy driver. Another car coming to pit road just up ahead. Like Kevin Harvick in the 29 in the pits. Several others. Blaney back in the top 30 up to 28th. No spots gained that time. Next car just in front of us looks to be pitting this time as well. Next two cars. There's Martin into the pits. So we'll cycle back past the 6th car for position next time by at the line. .30 to go for Blaney. There's Mark Martin. That was the spot. So that fuel only on the last pit stop for Dave Blaney at the front part of the window. About 10-15 laps or so after it opened, Blaney pit. And he will cycle back in front of the 6 as he fell behind him on strategy there for a minute. But so the hope is that we cycle through and then maybe catch a caution and try to get back on the lap in the closing stage of this race. A half hour till kickoff, baby. Get pumped. Getting excited, and then hopefully they don't fall flat on their face tonight. Might get a top 10. I mean, it's not out of the cards. It depends on cars on the lead lap. If any of them fall a lap down before the end of the race and we catch them. Like, that would be the only way I could get a top 10, I think. Unless, again, we were in the free pass spot when a caution comes out, then we can try to get some back on a restart. I'm scared to pit if a caution comes out, though, to take fresh tires, because if I'm not in the free pass position, if somebody else went a lap down with this thing going green for over 100 laps, you know, then I'm going to look like an idiot, and I'm going to be back outside the top 20 again. So I think I'm going to stay out of the pits if we get a caution. Just in case. Better safe than sorry. But at least we'd be back on the lead lap. And trying to fight for something. At worst case scenario, you know, that we would be on the lead lap on slightly older tires. So right front is wearing out a little. It's in the yellow on the tire wear indicator already. 17th. Newman's still on track, still leading. Old teacher came by to give you cookies. Didn't have any cool teachers like that growing up. Not that I knew of. I remember my Spanish teacher was able to do a backflip. I forget, there was like a... There was something where we had like a test. It was either my freshman or sophomore year. I forget if it was Spanish 1 or 2, but it was the same teacher for both. We had one Spanish teacher in my school. And she said something about like if we all got a certain percentage or something on some test that she would do a backflip. And one, she did a backflip in the classroom. Took her shoes off, did a backflip. She wasn't that old. I think she was like in her late 30s, but still, I mean, like, I can't do a backflip. So she had to have been in like gymnastics or something growing up. Like she was kind of athletically built, but I don't think anybody thought that she could actually do it. And then she's like, no, I will do a backflip. So I can remember that. That was like the coolest thing I think I ever saw a teacher do. Oh, is she pretty? No, she was really short. She was like very short. I'm not gonna answer that question, but yeah, she was like, I don't even know if she was 5 foot tall, to be completely honest. Like, she was really short. Short little person. But she could do a backflip. Yeah, it had to be gymnastics. I feel like that's a gymnastics build, isn't it? Like, really short. I don't know if that's like just the Simone Biles thing or if that's like a universal, like you're good at gymnastics if you're super short kind of thing. By the way, we are up to 12. So we've either had one more car DNF or there was another car that fell off the lead lap that we have cycled past in the running order. Newman still hasn't pit, so we're scored 2 laps down, but in 12th at lap 317 of 334. Newman is the last driver that has to hit pit road for the final time. I mean, I'm catching Newman because I have pressure tires on him, but I don't know that I'm going to finish on the lead lap still. Gordon's still going to be well ahead of us, I'd imagine. We'll have to see if Newman, maybe even cycles back to the lead. The longer Newman stays out, the less time he's going to have to try to make his time up on his fresher tires to the end to get back by Gordon for the win. High school football team's winning 42-0. Ouch. Ouch for the other team. Denny Hamlin, Jeff Burton up ahead. I don't think either one are on the same lap as the 22, but Blaney charging hard just in case. What is wrong with you? Yeah, I ain't doing that either. Oh, gosh. I remember there was a buddy of mine growing up. I remember he had like the biggest crush on our science teacher. Well, it wasn't like I didn't have her. I think it was a chemistry teacher at my high school, and she was like really young. Like she was like just a couple years out of college, so she was like mid-20s probably, and he was like junior, senior year. He would joke around about it all the time. Dude was a goofball. Just be making jokes like, oh, I'm staying after class today. Oh, what an idiot. Oh, that pass on Jeff Burton is for position. So Blaney up to 11th. Ten laps to go. And Ryan Newman has already pitted and still cycled back into the lead, so he's got the freshest tires and he's got the track position. It's going to be tough to take down Newman to the end of the race. Who would have thought a spin and win was going to... I'm still not going to say whether she was or wasn't. I try to keep it professional as much as I can, you know. I don't think I'd get in trouble. I probably wouldn't, but still feels weird for me. Man, one spot out of a top 10. I mean, we can still hope for a caution, even if I don't get a lap back. You know, maybe there's somebody else that's a lap down. We have a better chance of catching that way. Scott Riggs' next car ahead of us. He's a few laps down, so he is definitely not a spot. I think it's Riggs. No, actually, you know what? It's probably not the 10. Might be a different car. Yeah, it was a Van Halen song. I remember that being on one of those Guitar Hero games growing up. I remember that was like the hardest song to play on the drums with the... It was, I think it was World Tour. Guitar Hero World Tour. I guess Scott Riggs is up here. It's Riggs and the 147. The car I was looking at initially was not Riggs. kind of coincidental they both ended up right there. 107 was one of those cars caught up in the Newman crash, I do believe. No, not the Newman crash. It was the Tony Raines and Jeff Green crash. 3-car incident. That was a wreck that put us a lap down to begin with. Oh boy, low contact. Well, clean air for the rest of the race here for Blaney. He shouldn't catch anybody else in the running order. And because we are a lap down, it'll be the white flag this time by. No cautions on the final lap. Ryan Newman 1 lap away from victory at the Texas Motor Speedway today. Well, I mean, we did the best we could. Literally, I mean, just got caught in a bad caution middle of the race and never got another lap, another caution while we were in the free pass position to get our lap back. So a lap down in 11th is where Dave Blaney ends up tonight. And the 12 of Ryan Newman going to get the win. So congrats for Ryan Newman getting the win. 81 laps led. 1.3 second margin of victory. 3 hours 45 seconds total time of the race today. 3 hours 0 minutes 45 seconds. 166.3 mile per hour average race speed. 19 lead changes and 3 cautions total on this race. Newman started 4th, got the win. Spin and win for Ryan Newman here today. Greg Biffle started 2nd, finishes 2nd. He led 54 laps. Jeff Gordon led the most laps of 120. No laps led for Elliott Sadler, finishing 4th. Dale Jr. finishes 5th, so he'll definitely gain on us in points. He also started deep in the field at 41st. 6th place finish for Kurt Busch. Tony Stewart 7th. Kevin Harvick 8th. Jimmy Johnson 9th. Johnson led for 65 laps from the pole. He led the first 65 in the race and didn't lead again after. Brian Vickers led for 7 laps and finishes 10th, and he also had a spin in the race. So seemed like if you spun out, you're in good shape. Both those guys still ended up with top 10s, and only 10 cars finished on the lead lap. So we were the first car lap down, just unfortunately didn't get the caution to get back on the lead lap. And we went green over 100 laps to the finish here. More than that, really. It was about 130, 140 lap green flag run to the checker. Went 2 full fuel runs. W. Hall, W. Dwight, J.J. Yaley, Joe Nemechek, all blew motors. It's 4 drivers in total who blew an engine today and DNF'd. When you said Miss Freckles, I was thinking of, who was the Magic School Bus teacher? Wasn't that like Miss Frizzle or something like that? That's what I thought you were implying at first. Subway Fresh 500. It's going to be the next race. There you have it. I didn't mute it either, so I might get copyrighted. Oh, well. I can always trim it out if I have to. Dale Jr. goes from 89 points out of first to 69 points out of first. But Dave Blaney still has the points lead despite not getting a top 10 tonight. Again, Dale Jr. brings it home in 5th. Ryan Newman with the race win is now only 136 points out of first. First win of the year for Newman. Biffle within 1 race worth of points now as well. So top 4 starting to crunch together a little bit, but another so hopefully we can get back to another win. And not sure exactly when that race will take place. Monday at the earliest, if not Monday, probably next Friday. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Appreciate it as always. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't yet. I'll post the community tab post later tonight for the live commentary streaming schedule. We got Atlanta streams for Xfinity and Cup action this weekend. Cup qualifying tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. Xfinity race at 3 p.m. Eastern, both tomorrow. And on Sunday, our Cup race will go live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I believe 2:30 at least there. Again, I'll put a community tab post just to verify those start times in the chat sometime tonight. My Packers play tonight in about 10 minutes or so. Go Pack, go. Thanks again for your support as always, for tuning in here on this Friday night, and I'll see you back better than ever again tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching, everyone.